All right, we are back with the currently final episode of our MCU tier list. My name is Chris.
This is Emmett.
And this is phase 5 of the What We've Watched podcast MCU tier list. So here we are sitting with currently 39 titles ranked, 11 more to go for a total of 50. It's kind of nice that it's a nice even 50 to the end of tier... phase 5. That's kind of cool. I mean, obviously, probably hardly planned that way, but definitely not an even split between the phases. So,
well, they're mostly like 2 and 4 are similar.
Yes.
Just 3 was really big, and then 1 was smaller because it was a slower start.
Yeah. And 5 is similar to the other ones too. It's all 11. It's more like that. But yeah. So we've as you can see here, we got I have a little more A and C. You've got a little more A and B. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that means you're a little more forgiving or if I'm a little more, but it's sort of different things are ranked in different spots. So, so it's
we're also like sometimes the line where of that division that we fall on is more about like how we personally like feel about like certain things, like where basically things that we don't like about it versus things we like about it, how much that affects where we place it will be different for between us, right? So I'd say like it's not so much that one is more or less forgiving, it's we're more and less forgiving about different things.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I looking and thinking about this since we did last week. I think I want to make a change before we start dumping it on
nothing too major, hopefully.
No, just one. I think I want to move Iron Man up.
Iron Man 1
up. I think it over the course of adding things, stuff kind of sort of got put in front of it, like kind of over and over again.
Yeah,
and it's now sitting like actually at the back half of the A tier, which I feel is like, wait, that's not...
Doesn't seem right.
Yeah, that doesn't really seem right to me. And I'm like, oh, so I'm actually going to give it kind of a decent sized bump here. Mm-hmm. I don't seem to be able to click. I don't know what's going on here.
Technical issues.
Here we go. All right, I got it fixed. Here we go. All right, there we can get rid of that. Okay. Oh, hang on. I don't want that.
Oh, that explains why we're having an issue.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. Everything fixed. Technical issues fixed. Okay, so I'm going to grab Iron Man, actually, and I'm going to slide it. I'm actually going to put it all the way up to here.
Right behind Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah. Like, because I was like, wait, I like these movies. I like Captain Marvel, I like Black Panther.
Werewolf by Night.
Great. But like, they sort of, I think it was those kind of ended up getting put in front of like things like Loki.
Yeah.
Without thinking that I had put Loki in front of Iron Man, it was one of those, Yeah. And so that's the adjustment I'm making.
I have it above Loki.
Yes, you do. Yeah. So
I have it kind of halfway in the A's.
Yeah. It puts it a little more similar to how you've got yours. Yeah. But it's sort of like where stuff ranks in an individual tier is also kind of,
Yeah, I mean it should be roughly in order.
Yeah. It's but those are all A's.
Perfect.
It's kind of situation there. Yeah.
All right.
So starting with phase 5 here.
Yeah. I think it's Quantumania first, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Ant-Man the Wasp, Quantumania.
Yeah.
Third Ant-Man movie. Mm-hmm. Hitting the multiverse stuff. Mm-hmm. Kang stuff.
Yeah.
a movie that, regardless of its quality, it largely irrelevant now because of things that have changed.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
a very weird situation.
This is a pretty easy one for me.
Yeah.
You can just put it like at the bottom, not at F, but at
D?
at the back of
really
D.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like it. It's the worst movie.
That's this one here, right?
Yeah. It's the worst MCU movie.
Really? Wow.
I was disappointed right from the start. Like the first time I saw it, I was like, I don't like this.
I had a lot of. For me. It's definitely a movie that is.
It's not worthless, so it doesn't go to F. Because it still has like a couple of jokes that I like. Like
I found it quite fun.
Like he's broccoli. Or
sure.
I have holes or But those are just like a joke. A couple of good jokes does not a movie make.
Yeah.
And I hold a huge grudge against it because of the fact that I just think they made so many wrong-headed decisions in terms of, especially because I think even if I'm gonna try not to get onto a huge rant.
Oh yeah.
But like even if things hadn't gone the way they went with Jonathan Majors, and they hadn't decided to move away from the Kang thing, the way that they did Kang here basically flat out ruined any future, because the thing is that it's one thing in a comic to be like, oh, this character keeps coming back and has these different like versions like you're always but like in a cinematic thing, in a movie thing, it's like you can't introduce a villain that's meant to be like your coming big bad. Introduce him in just this random ass other movie and defeat him. And then think that like it basically just makes it like, well, then who cares about if he's like the next big villain, because we've already seen everything he can do and he's already been beaten by Ant-Man of all people.
Exactly.
You know, and I understand the intention was like, oh, but like this
this
is only one version of him.
Exactly.
And what happens when like there's a whole bunch of versions of him like together and blah blah blah. But like that's all whatever. That's all nonsense. But like from like a movie viewer point of view, you can't do stuff like that. It would be like if they...
Well, it was very anticlimactic.
Yeah, exactly. It would be even more anticlimactic if they tried to make him then the main villain down the road. It would be like as if... Like, think about how in Phase 1 and 2, I guess, technically, how they, like, or I guess, was it the first 3 phases? Was the Infinity Saga the first 3 phases?
Yes.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
So think about that. Think about over the course of the first 3 phases.
Well, it's
how slowly and gradually they built up Thanos as the big threat without ever really showing that much of him. Until finally, boom. Right? Whereas, like, imagine if they had used Thanos as the main villain in Avengers 1 and they beat him.
Well, basically...
And then it was like, oh, but later on he's going to come back even worse. I mean, nobody would have cared. Because it would have been like, whatever, we've already seen it.
Because of the timing of the original Ant-Man movie. Imagine if Thanos had appeared in the original Ant-Man movie and they beat him then. Because that was the end of Phase 2. Only, he'll be back in Phase 3. And you're like... So?
Yeah, exactly. And so I think that's a huge problem.
There is something to be said for, like, the villain you beat that comes back. But,
yes, but again, that works well in comics because comics, that's always how they work. The villains, the same villains come back over and over and over.
You have to do the villain, defeat the villain comes back. You have to do that all in one movie. You can't do it and then like 2 years later tell me that it's...
It just had a lot of really just dumb stuff, and it just, like, the MODOK thing was really bad.
Yeah, you hated the MODOK
thing. It's so bad. Like, it's so bad because it's bad on every level. Like, there's no level on which it works because it's a terrible looking effect. It's a terrible idea. It was a terrible idea to tie that in with Darren Cross from the first movie and have him become MODOK for some reason. The way,
it's like they were like, we have to bring him back, but we don't know what to do with
the writing and the way they played it was so bad. It was just bad.
It's a movie that is... again, this is something we've touched on before. It feels like it's supposed to have extremely high stakes. But then it gets way too goofy. And for me, I had some fun watching it with some of the character interactions. I thought it, at the very least, other than...
That's the only thing that's keeping it from F.
And I thought, even though the visual effects were not always at their best. There was definitely some like, wow, this felt a little bit rushed. I thought at the very least, it was interesting visually.
Yeah.
It was so disappointing.
I love the concept.
Yeah.
Like, I love the idea of going into the quantum realm, having it be this whole other world with its own population and its own cultures and history, and having to, like, tie in with that. I loved all the stuff with, like, tapping into, like, how, you know, because of Janet having been there, and, like, her having the experience and kind of guiding everyone through, and then, you know, even things like meeting and, like, I mean, even a Bill Murray cameo couldn't save this movie.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it was just so disappointing. It's like and the thing is that I went in wanting to like it. Like, I didn't go in with a bad attitude. I had my doubts about this Kang thing, but I didn't go in with like a negative like expectation or negative attitude. I went in wanting to like it, and it was like the movie didn't want me to like it. It was like the movie was working so hard to make me not like it, and I was like, "That's the opposite of what you want to do." You know, so it just really didn't work for me.
For me, as someone who I love Kang in the comics, and liked what they had done with him up until this point, like some of like the involvement with the Loki stuff,
which again is not even. I mean, in the comics,
well, as it turns
he's
out,
not even Kang in the comics,
exactly.
But in terms of combining those ideas, it worked really well.
And potentially tying that into. I mean, going forward with like knowing that eventually they're going to make a Fantastic Four movie and how all that, like, I'm like, the potential here is amazing. Like this, because you know, after Thanos, you're like, well, what can they do next? And I'm like, oh, you guys actually picked the right villain to do this with,
for sure.
And then
Kang is known as one of the few villains.
This smacks of me. It hit me in the same way that the final Star Wars movies hit, in that like. It's a bunch of different writers that didn't want to talk to each other and didn't really pay attention to what they were doing. And so I'm also putting it in D. The kind
You're putting it above Eternals.
I'm putting it above Eternals.
Okay.
Because it was disappointing.
I enjoyed Eternals more, honestly.
For me, it's just Eternals. I don't know what this movie is. For me, like the only thing saving Eternals from F is. I thought the characters worked really well together. But this is not a Marvel movie. I don't know what this is. I don't know what I don't know what this movie is.
I get that, but I actually
it's a half decent space. I mean, but honestly, if it wasn't tied into Marvel, for me, Eternals might even be like a C. Like, you know, like, but yeah.
Yeah, I see what you mean. But for me, I still enjoyed it more, so therefore it has to be higher.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Let's see here. Volume 3. So for me, I mean, this will be S for me.
It's S,
Put it like in the middle, just below Infinity War.
Oh wow! Like right there.
Yeah.
Wow. You really. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically the quintessential. It's everything that.
It's so good.
It's everything that specifically that James Gunn does well, and we've seen him since he's been doing the DC stuff and whatnot. Continue that sort of style, but it's everything that like it's the whole, you know, like you'll laugh, you'll cry. Great action, great character development, like devastating emotional stuff, but also like hilarious comedy. Like it's just it's the culmination. It's the true culmination of everything that had been worked on up to that point. It is the, you know, it's the, if you're one of those, like, obviously, you know, but like, you know, my issues with Endgame, but like, it's the way that most people see Endgame as like the ultimate culmination of the whole Avengers thing. Guardians Volume 3 is Endgame for Guardians. Like, it's the perfect, you know, and it's like we lose some characters. We have some characters that, you know, sort of, they're there, but they're you know, they go away. You know, they're not going to be part of the you know, the Guardians kind of split, but there's like kind of a new, but in a nice way. They all have really nice conclusions, and it's like it's not a, like, it feels like, okay, well, it all makes sense, and they all like have interesting things that where they end up, and the reasoning behind that. And then you have this whole kind of like new beginning as well, where you have kind of a new team. And like, I actually find like that quite intriguing. Like, I think, I feel like they took the original group as far as they could.
Yeah.
And they did so much with them that, and I love that they had, bittersweet things like not just the team break, like kind of going their different ways, but like, things like, there's no easy solution to the Gamora thing.
Of course,
because it's not the same Gamora, and it's never going to be the same. And so they
a great way of we kill the character.
Yeah.
Well, we're still going to have the character, but because she isn't the same,
and there's consequences.
We basically get like all the character, like a beginning to that character all over again.
Yeah.
But how like it is such a.
But I like they didn't go for some easy sappy thing of she eventually she falls for Peter again. And they end up together anyway, happily ever after. It's like no, like that's dumb.
The
idea that
we did that story.
The idea that they come to some understanding of that like yes, like we it was a special thing, but she's just not that person anymore, and she never
went through the experiences that got her to that point.
And she needs to go and live her life the way that she needs to, And it's like, that doesn't mean that nothing could happen in the future, but it just means like for now, that's just not in the cards. But him getting to go back home and see his grandpa, and like, just, and then like
the rocket stuff.
And then of course, rocket stuff, of course, is the centerpiece. Is the heart of the movie.
Because how that ties in with the High Evolutionary, which I thought they did very well.
Yeah, I mean, so the one negative thing, just on a personal level, is because I'm a big fan of the comic character of High Evolutionary, at least from the classic era, which is the comics that I know. And again, as is the case with a lot of Guardians characters, it's not really the comic character of High Evolutionary, but what they did with him was amazing, and like just the absolute.
At the very least, he has like almost all the same motivations.
But he is the most despicable, evil villain, and again, I mean,
just a horrible
I think
monster.
With the new Superman, we've definitely seen that's seems like another James Gunn thing of because he's now made like the most despicable Lex Luthor of all time.
Yeah, he can write a good villain,
and so like it's I mean that's definitely a thing.
Yeah.
And like the High Evolutionary in this was just so awful.
Yeah.
And you really wanted to see, and so like, it just, there's just so many great little, it's so epic. Like there's so much that happens and it's all just awesome. And it's, I think I'd probably even put it higher than Avengers and then Infinity War and Civil War if it wasn't for the minor things of A, High Evolutionary not really being the comics character, and B, like I have more personal attachment to like the characters and whatnot from the Avengers and movies. Yeah. But whereas like the Guardians are just kind of like, I like them, but like I have because there's no like history there because A, they're not even really the same characters that are in the comics, and B, like they're not characters that I ever had like a lot of like I didn't grow up reading Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, exactly.
And even if I did, they wouldn't have been those characters anyway.
It's none of these characters.
Right? So whereas like with the Avengers stuff and with Civil War, which is basically an Avengers movie, it's Avengers 2.5.
Yeah.
Like it, it's there's that like visceral kind of like these characters and I grew up with and blah blah blah. So I'm gonna leave it there.
Yeah.
But
it's still S tier, right?
It was fan-freaking-tastic, and it could not have been a more satisfying conclusion to that trilogy, and the fact that like it still leaves a lot open for potential. I mean, it literally says in the credits like that Star-Lord will return. And they've always intended that would be the case. To what degree we don't know, but so I'm sure we'll see at least some of those characters again. I mean, definitely it would be cool to see the Guardians themselves, like the new team, like with Rocket and Groot and and Adam Warlock and the various so whatever, we'll see.
So me, I mean, I agree with you on all fronts. I'm throwing mine at the top of A here.
Okay, fair. Doesn't quite cross the line.
That's fair. Two things that I mean, some aspects of the movie were a little. Some of the humor was a little silly for me. Which I realize silly humor is kind of the Guardians of the Galaxy like stock and trade.
To a degree,
but I felt that it was just a little too silly. Maybe considering like how the serious parts of it were.
Yeah.
And also, and sort of like now I'm double dinging two things for the same thing. How key elements of this movie make no sense unless you've seen the Christmas special.
Oh yeah.
Which is.
We talked about that last time.
I knocked the Christmas special for that, and I'm re-knocking this. But if you never see the Christmas special, there's a bunch of stuff that you're
valid.
like, none of this makes sense.
That's valid. I didn't even really think about that, but
it's top of it is an extremely satisfying film.
Yeah.
They wrap it up in the best way, and considering how
Rocket,
far that came up from like Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which was kind of like, well, this movie has some stuff in it, but it's also kind of neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But,
and the Rocket...
Yeah, the Rocket stuff was
just
incredible.
Absolutely devastating.
Yeah.
And then to have his moment of like, his sort of like revelatory moment of realizing like, no, he really is a raccoon.
Yeah.
And that now it's like he realizes that it's not just about like, because like I've seen some things talking about it and stuff, right? And even like James Gunn talking about it where, the idea was always, because he always had this story in mind for where they were going with Rocket. And this was always how...
Well, we had to find out eventually,
This is always how it was supposed to end. And the whole idea was that, Rocket was so damaged and everything, he like didn't really care about anything except for... He had come to sort of care about the immediate close circle a little bit. But he still really kind of like kept himself separate from it, And so the whole thing with this movie and going through this experience, and then it was to sort of get to that payoff point where, like, when he not only finds the raccoons and realizes, the full thing of what he really is, but like also he has that moment where he looks around all the other animals, and he realizes like, I have to save everyone.
Yeah.
And he has that compassion that comes out where it's just like, no, he has to, and that's what leads to he's ready to be the leader, to truly be. Before it was all about ego, where he was just like, not to be confused with ego from Guardians 2, but like it was all about like,
lowercase e,
like the argument over between him and Quill about like, well, no, I'm the captain or I'm the better pilot. It was always that ego thing. Whereas like he had to come to the thing of like, no, like now he's the leader because he's truly ready as a person, right? To be the leader. Yeah. It's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right. Well, let's follow this up with something that is not fantastic.
Oh, what's that?
Secret Invasion.
Oh, Secret Invasion's next?
So, yeah.
Okay, that's F.
That's F.
Secret Invasion is the worst project they've ever done. It's the only project that, like Marvel Studios itself, like the actual MCU stuff, it's the only project they've ever done that I thought was completely worth it.
So it's the only reason we have even F on here is for Secret Invasion.
I mean, I was willing to consider the possibility.
I put it at the bottom of D.
Or consider the possibility that something else may somehow land in F at some point.
Well, I wasn't sure. When we came to talk about Eternals, I was like, are we going to talk ourselves into an F here?
Yeah, I mean, it was possible.
But we realized that there's enough in it that,
because the thing is my feeling is the only things that should be an F are the things that basically have no value.
Well, they're like a waste.
That have no value.
Like even
it was botched on every
single level, and I was so angry because
again they ruined like good characters that we care about.
They did a trifecta of I was like, Samuel L. Jackson's back, yes, and I'm like, okay, well, I like most of the stuff they did with him in the show, and honestly, that is the only thing, the reason why it's even an F
was even watchable.
Yeah, watchable was because him, and also just curiosity. Like, what are they going to do with this?
Yeah,
and Skrull stuff, such huge potential. Yeah, just in whatever that was, 6 episodes or whatever. Just wasted it. Just, and I'm like, using top tier actors and interesting ideas.
Yeah,
and then doing nothing.
Yeah, it was terrible. The storyline was executed terribly.
I knew we were in for a bad ride when they thought, you know what we're going to do? We're going to kill Hill as a plot point. Yeah. And I was like, you mean one of the most, like, I mean, it might have been maybe that actress doesn't want to do Marvel anymore. I don't know why some of these decisions, sometimes characters get removed for certain reasons,
for sure.
But it was like Maria Hill. Yeah. No, like, that's not, you don't kill Nick Fury. you don't kill Maria Hill for the same reason you don't kill Nick Fury. You know, like they are, you know, and it's just, you know, and it's. I mean,
and it also like it established all these things that are like these huge cans of worms that you like kind of have to deal with.
But they're never going to.
And they're clearly not going to.
Never going to.
So it's like, why do it in the first place?
Looking at everything on here
yeah.
that we've done so far, and everything probably going forward, it is like the one thing that you can skip.
Yeah.
And nothing of value is lost.
Yeah.
Like in terms of, it's not like, oh, I didn't watch the Christmas special, so I don't understand some of the plot points in Guardians 3.
Yeah.
This is like, no, don't worry about it. Like,
yeah, I mean, the only thing that it does is
this like why Fury's in space.
Well, yeah, to a degree. I mean, we already kind of knew that.
But also, it's fine because the next entry actually recaps all of that, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, in a sense, yeah. The other thing that's weird, too, is that, like, as you talked about, the other thing I wanted to touch on was that, you know, the only thing that even, like, slightly makes it watchable, it's not really that watchable, but the only thing that slightly does is getting so much Fury and getting so much Samuel Jackson. But the problem is that, like, he doesn't even really feel like the same character.
No.
And I realized they were going for, like, he's kind of been diminished. He's had
old man now.
He's had a tough time. He's older.
Wants to retire.
He's gone through like a lot of really tough, like,
you know,
like
we get to meet his wife. We get to, you know, like which here's the, like honestly best thing about that show. Only cool thing about that show. I thought the dynamic between him and his wife was great.
An interesting. It introduces an interesting kind of wrinkle to it all.
Yeah.
But I get the idea that they wanted sort of like a diminished Fury that had to kind of like claw his way back to really being, but like. It just didn't really work. He didn't. He barely even felt like the same character. And then they basically just ignored it anyways because the next time he appears, he's right back to like good old classic Fury.
It is
as if this never even happened.
They knew they made a mistake. Like immediately.
Oh yeah, obviously.
They really did.
Yeah.
And like to be fair, to the studio, like. At least they realized that. At least they realized what
they wasted a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of goodwill on doing something that was completely worthless that they never should have done.
Yeah, or done that way anyway.
I mean, I should exactly because the idea of handling Secret Invasion and following up on
it had to the Secret Invasion stuff had to be a TV show.
Yeah.
Because like there's no way you could stick all that in a movie.
But I mean,
but also like a huge part of the concept of Secret Invasion is heroes who aren't themselves because they're Skrulls. Well, you're not going to be able to pull that off in a TV show because none of those actors.
No,
like,
I mean, they kind of did. They did Rhodey, and that was about it. And really,
and only because what was the last thing he was in?
Yeah, and
right?
only as himself. Like it was not even like he was War Machine. And the thing is that the Secret Invasion concept. I mean, even simplifying it down and making it a little bit lower budget than because obviously like a full like you say like a full on Secret Invasion storyline with
that's a
heroes
whole,
and things like that.
I mean that's a whole movie arc.
That would be like a movie.
That's a phase.
That would be
that's
a big
phase.
That would be a big budget. You know. So like doing it this way.
Yeah.
It's fine if they had done it well because the thing is that what Secret Invasion should have been to make it work in the context of what the budget they had and the time and what they were doing. Secret Invasion should have been like Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Like it should have been like a espionage action thriller, like windy plot, you know, who knows what's going on.
I mean, that's how it wasn't. That's what they did in the comic.
You know, and it should have been. So I mean, it should be up in the other end of the list because it should have been like, oh, this is the true successor to Winter Soldier. And instead, it's at the very bottom because they completely botched it.
For everything that they tried to jam into the show, because the other thing is, it's so full of stuff. They never have time to spend more than like 5 seconds on any idea. Yeah. Which, of course, again, like you say, leads to just a bunch of loose ends that they're never going to touch on.
Well, like the fact that they leave off with Gaia basically being like a god.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they went so far beyond just like the Super Skrull concept to like, oh, what if a Skrull with all the powers of everybody?
Yeah.
Like that's not going to cause issues.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I guess we'll just ignore it and pretend it never happened because otherwise it would completely unbalance the entire universe. I mean, even with Captain Marvel, they're like, yeah, we need to like keep her out in space most of the time, because it would completely unbalance every storyline if you had basically
when
somebody.
When she does show up, she just destroys Thanos' ship in 2 seconds.
Yeah, like her power level is so high that like you have to, it's the old Superman is on a space mission problem, because her power level is so high that like she would just change every. You could not.
Well, you
most
always
stories,
need the balancing factor. Yeah. I mean, we'll get to when we talk about Thunderbolts. Yeah. But that's like Sentry. Yeah. And he can't ever really be even Sentry, which is like the best part. The
All right, let's move on. Let's move on.
All right. So, speaking of which, the story-wise follow-up, Marvels.
So the Marvels, it was right after that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
That was.
That's even crazier.
Yeah. I mean.
The fact that I guess that...
I mean, it was 6 months later it came out.
I mean, I guess that kind of helps because it's sort of like, our follow-up is kind of the thing that sort of, like, negates, Yeah. All right. Well, so the Marvels is obviously a bit notorious because it caught a lot of hate from a lot of people when it came out, and it sort of flopped fairly badly. Yeah. Which, as we know, is not necessarily an indication of quality or lack thereof. Mm-hmm. But I thought it was pretty good, actually. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun, and I thought that a lot of... Like, it's not perfect. I think the villain's not very strong. No. And the sort of... The way that plays out is not very strong. Most of the really best parts of the movie are the sort of, like, side things here and there that don't really have that much to do with the main plot. Mm-hmm. But it's a lot of fun. And that was
3 main characters who I thought had excellent chemistry together.
And there's no way to know that. Like, they introduced these 3 characters with 3 different actors in 3 separate things. 3 different projects. And it was like, okay, yes, they logically go together. Yeah. Like, obviously there's history with Carol and Monica. Yeah. But, like, the last time that they had any dealings, Monica was a kid.
Exactly.
So we don't know what adult Monica, like, how she'll interact with Carol. And so, like the fact that they had to, like, they cast...
I feel like I need to watch it again.
They cast these 3 different people for these 3 different characters at 3 different times for 3 different things. But we always knew, like, but they also do kind of go together. And ultimately, when they decided to make this... the Marvels rather than basically Captain Marvel 2. Yeah. And put the 3 of them together as the 3 main characters. Yeah. There was no way to know if that was going to work. And
it could have been so cumbersome.
They fit perfect. Yeah. And then on top of that, having a ton of Fury, and he's just great. It's almost like as if Secret Invasion never happened.
Throw in all the side characters. Kamala's parents get to be in it, which is always fun.
Yeah, like the family stuff, I will say, I do feel they went a little overboard with.
It drags too long.
There's too much of them. Yeah, I really like them, but they're great in smaller doses.
Yes.
They really kind of.
The problem is we got a TV amount of them in a movie length.
They sort of Jack Sparrowed the family a little bit. Yes, and I think they need to be in smaller doses when they're really good. Again, jumping forward a little bit, but when
Daredevil,
when Kamala's dad shows up in that episode of Daredevil, so good because again, you're seeing from a different perspective. Yeah. But anyways, no, I think that I honestly feel that there were a number of factors that factored into the reception of the Marvels kind of being not so great. Yeah. Part of it was just like the sort of climate of like how people were feeling about where Marvel was going and what was going on with it at the time that was sort of like affecting people's...
People were bummed about Quantumania. Yeah. Guardians hit well.
Yeah.
But
Guardians is so standalone.
But
it's its own thing.
We weren't sitting in a great...
Yeah. And so because of that, and then, so I know that there was a lot of other factors. Yeah. But I honestly think that the majority of the reason that the Marvels didn't hit was that people just were like... They just took it too seriously. Like they were just like, this is supposed to be like an epic, this is like a, like, I think people had gotten to the point where they're taking these movies way too seriously. Yeah. For sure. And everything has to be this amazing epic. Yeah. And it's like,
I mean, I think it's an amazing, it's a
if really you can't have fun with it, you're not going to like this movie.
It's a great,
because I mean, it has
like the first Captain Marvel, which again had mid-tier stakes.
Yeah.
Was mostly fun.
Yeah.
You know.
But this one even leads further into it, right?
Yeah.
The whole their power switching or not power switching. They're when they use
comboing kind of
the switching of places, but and the things like when they go to the planet where it's like all the singing and it's basically like a Disney movie.
That was so much fun.
You know, and it's like if you can't sort of roll with things like that and appreciate just the fun of things like that, it's silly, but it's just silly fun.
Yeah.
And if you can't kind of roll with that, I could totally understand this movie is not going to work for you.
Sure.
Because that's what this movie is. Mm-hmm. This movie is, Flerken swallowing everybody so that they can, evacuate the station.
Yeah.
And, there's so many just crazy, just sort of silly, but silly in a different way than we've seen before. It's not the same kind of silly.
It's not the same kind of silliness you get in a Guardians. Yeah.
Or even Thor.
You know what it is? It's comic book silliness.
Yeah.
The silliness you get in Guardians is not the silliness you get in a comic book. Not really,
no.
The silliness you get in Marvel, in the Marvels, is the kind of comedy you get in a written book.
Yeah, and I don't mean so much even just comedy, but it's just more anyways.
The lightheartedness. I'm throwing this an A. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna put it above Wanda. I think I'm just gonna put it right at the end of A. Right at the end of A. Yeah.
I am gonna go. For me,
it's A is starting to get tough for me to parse out what should be in front of what there.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go
because you've got Marvel in B, Captain Marvel in B.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with B.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. Again, I feel like I actually feel like I should rewatch it as well to get rid.
Yeah.
But I've seen it with a few reactors and stuff, so I have.
Yeah, so I haven't seen it since the theater, so it's been a year and a half or so.
Put it right under Shang-Chi.
Okay.
Right under Shang-Chi and above Ant-Man and the Wasp there. So B, top of B, and then Shang-Chi is at the top.
Oh, right there.
Put it right behind.
Right there?
No,
behind Shang-Chi.
Right behind Shang-Chi.
Second and B.
Right
Second
above,
and B, right there.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah.
That works. It's a little bit above the first one, which I think is fair.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like Ant-Man and the Wasp, so putting it above that is a big deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just really had fun with it. I didn't feel the thing is that I really liked Monica.
It came out of that theater with a smile on my face.
I mean, of course, Kamala was great. I mean,
yeah.
What
we've talked about.
I think we both have Miss Marvel in A.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed Monica in WandaVision, and I was really excited to see more of her with her powers because we don't really. I mean, she kind of gets her powers right near the end of WandaVision, and we don't really get we only get really kind of one moment where she really uses them, and she's only just gotten them and doesn't really know what they are.
Exactly, yeah.
So,
well, it is interesting because
really
we get three characters who are all in very different stages of their superhero life, which is a really good way to do that. You know? Also, three characters that are also on a maturity level. Well,
it's great because Kamala is she's like a kid, so just like that. Because with Monica, it was she's fairly new to her powers, but she's a very mature and confident in her other abilities and skills. She's literally was an agent and is blah blah blah. But she's new to her powers, and then you have Carol is just very confident on all levels because I mean she's literally. I mean, her level is so high, and so that contrast between the three of them kind of works really well.
All right.
What's next?
Next up, Echo.
Echo, yeah.
The kind of I'm gonna say out of nowhere show.
Yeah, well, it was an attempt to do something a little different because it was part of that very short-lived. I think it was the showcase or something like that.
Yes, that's right. Yes,
I mean, maybe I'm getting that wrong.
I think
but
that's
it was
right.
part of it was meant to be part of its own sort of sub imprint almost.
Yeah.
Where it was the idea was like, oh, it's like a more like street level standalone type of, the kind of thing like
return to like the Daredevil
stuff would have been.
And we knew
and also a little more on the like rated M kind of
yes.
level because obviously again it has like content wise it goes a lot further than most Marvel stuff. And then it seems like they kind of just decide to fold all that in, and it's basically all just, now it's just project dependent.
Yeah.
But I actually really liked Echo.
Yeah, me too.
I thought it. I enjoyed Maya when they introduced her in Hawkeye.
Yeah.
I thought they did a good job. I'm not super familiar with the comic character, and I know she's quite different. Because the whole reason that she's called Echo is because in the comics she has like Taskmaster style.
Yes.
Copying abilities.
Yeah.
And they obviously decided not to do that. Instead, she's just very like talented and skilled and well trained and stuff. I think it's amazing the whole like it's almost like John Doe levels of gimmick.
Oh,
in a good way, where it's like,
well, she's deaf. She also has a fake leg. She also,
like the specificity of like the like because the actress, I can't remember her name right now because I haven't looked it up recently, but like this is like one of the first things she's ever done as in acting, right? Like she basically answered like a casting call out of just like, oh, that's
Alaqua Cox.
Yeah. Alaqua, yeah.
Alaqua Cox.
I think that's how it is. Yeah. But she just answered like a casting thing because she was kind of interested in acting.
Not related to Charlie Cox.
Yeah. She was kind of interested in acting, hadn't really done anything.
Yeah.
And like answered the casting because it was like, oh well, like I kind of fit in this a little bit.
It's an extremely narrow demographic.
And that's the thing is because they needed something so specific because it's like they needed a young woman of a certain age, like young but not overly young. She's not a teenager.
Exactly, yeah.
But she's a young woman, Native American.
Yeah.
And then deaf.
Yeah.
Right? Because obviously they wanted to cast a real deaf person.
Yeah.
And then the leg thing, because in the comics, Echo does not have a missing like a prosthetic leg.
No.
But because Alaqua Cox does in real life, they were just like, we can incorporate that.
Sure.
Like, because she fits everything else perfectly. And they're like, we could just throw the leg in. And it added this whole extra dimension that was actually really cool. Yeah. Because it wasn't like...
It's a really kind of like... In terms of like... From scene to scene, it's a minor thing.
Yeah.
But when it's important, it feels important.
Yeah.
Like it's like,
but it's also not...
This is something that she would have to deal with.
Yeah, but they also don't make it like... everything revolves around it.
Exactly. Yeah,
and so like I love the fact that it's very matter of fact. It's like why does she have only one leg and use a prosthetic? No reason.
Yeah.
Just because
that happens.
Just because Alaqua Cox does, and they decided to.
You know what? Some people have a prosthetic leg.
Yeah,
that's why.
Exactly. But like so often with characters, especially like in movies and especially like comic book based characters, there always has to be some reason why everything is.
It has to be. They have to make it a focus or.
It always has to be like, oh well, because of this big backstory thing.
Yeah.
Like even the whole thing with Fury's eye, how they eventually like answered like with
why
in
his
Captain
eyes,
Marvel with the whole like Goose, damaging his eye, and it's like.
I mean, it's kind of a throwaway thing. Really.
No, I mean it's fun. I have no problem with it. But it wasn't necessary.
Nah.
Like, why he has the eye thing doesn't really matter to his character. It's just part of what makes him...
I feel there's always, and this is a little bit off topic here, but this is something that in the Marvel movies, this is in all movies, in general, is the, like, sometimes it's okay to leave a mystery a mystery. You don't have to explain everything.
In many cases, it's like, in many ways, it's not even really a mystery. It's just, it is what it is.
Yeah,
it's just a matter-of-fact thing.
Yeah.
And so I really love how, like, it does seem weirdly specific and kind of like a gimmick because it's just like, like, on top of everything else...
It's the actress happened to have it.
But it's just because she fit all of the rest of the needs of the character, and they were like, we can incorporate that.
Yeah.
So I thought she was fantastic. Obviously,
her and D'Onofrio play off each other so well.
Yeah, and him, and I mean, his sort of full glory return after the brief bits in Hawkeye was amazing. And we even got like the Daredevil cameo.
Yeah.
Where it goes back to like when, you know, he sends her out on sort of the test mission there.
Yeah.
Knowing that she's going to run into Daredevil.
Yeah.
And basically that's part of the test is to see how she stands up against him. And I really liked the ideas in it, like the cultural kind of stuff. Like, it's not my culture. I have no, like, you know, place to, like, comment on it. I don't know how much it's accurate or whatever.
Sure, yeah.
But I'm sure they made an effort. Like, I'm sure that, given the fact that most of the cast is real native, and very much that experience of, you know, in America and what that experience, you know, that sort of sub, you know, world that exists within, you know, like, I'm assuming it's probably fairly accurate,
it felt respective.
But it was also just interesting. Like, it added a lot of interest. And I thought,
again, it's the kind of thing where in many things it would be a throwaway gimmick, and here it was plot centric.
Yeah, but again, they made it a lot more like
integrated nicely.
Matter of fact.
Yeah.
Like it's like them being all like Native Americans. It's like it wasn't an entire they weren't going on like
ooh, look at this, look at this, look at this.
Yeah, they weren't doing like vision quests every other, you know, like Chakotay. They weren't like hammering you on the nose with those like with the sort of native stereotypes and stuff. In fact, in many cases they've made fun of them. Right? And so they really did a good job of just like, they're just people. They just happen to have like a cultural background, but you know,
it's the kind of thing when the stuff is you know, cultural stuff, any of that kind of stuff is presented in a movie or a TV show in the like, different parts of the world are different as a matter of fact kind of way, without it making like a gimmicky feature. It works best.
You
know, it's just
because that's how people actually live.
Exactly.
People don't live like just everything being about their, you know. So I'm gonna throw this in B,
just behind. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna throw it at the top of B. I'm gonna throw it at the top of B here. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
I had a really good time with it.
I haven't seen it in a while. I do remember, like, the storyline itself was a little bit of a mixed bag. Like, it wasn't necessarily...
It had the problem I have with almost every Marvel show.
Yeah.
It feels either one episode too short or one episode too long. Yeah. And it felt maybe one episode too long in the middle. Like, there's a middle episode there that I was like, nothing happened.
It's also trying to do a lot. And not necessarily always working that well. I think I'm gonna go... I'll put it B as well. You can put it...
Same as me, just in front of...
No. I'm gonna put it further up.
Further up?
I really enjoy it. Yeah, you can put it... you can make it the new number 2 and B. Put it right behind...
Wow,
Shang-Chi.
in front of Marvels. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
I thought that the way it developed out the characters and stuff over the arc of the show was really good. I found it really interesting and intriguing.
Also, good building blocks for stuff to come too.
Yeah.
Also,
I think I do need to ding Marvel's a little bit on the weak villain storyline.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously Echo definitely did not have that.
No.
But Shang-Chi is just so good.
Yeah.
Like, Shang-Chi is almost should be bumped up to A, to be honest. But
you want to throw it up to bottom A?
No. I want to keep it in B because it's like, it doesn't...
Yeah.
I don't have that, like, emotional, like ooh with it. It's just really fun. Oh. All right, what's next?
Deadpool and Wolverine.
All
the
This is a tough one for a number of reasons.
Well, because the first two Deadpool movies, not MCU,
are not part of this. Yeah. It's also
like this movie only exists because, this movie exists because Deadpool movies make a lot of money.
Yeah.
But this movie also only exists because Ryan Reynolds is an absolute insane person.
Yeah.
And he bullied Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
Into like there are so this movie is so wild.
Yeah, and again, it's
we talked about ballsy moves in other movies.
Yeah,
the ballsiest.
And it's a really tough one it's a really tough one because of the fact that it's like, again, like you say, like it's first of all, it's a third movie out of a trilogy where the first two aren't even part of
exactly
this.
But it's also like, even though it is part of the MCU and it does incorporate stuff with the Time Variance Authority, it is also completely standalone film at the moment.
And it does hang way more on
like
the previous, you know, and especially the Fox stuff, continuity, right?
But at the same time, and then every scene in that movie is like memorable.
And then the other problem with judging it is the fact that, like, I completely agree with what, like, a lot of critics and stuff felt about, like, the fact that, like, it's not even really a movie. Like, there's really barely any story to speak of.
It's just a bunch of...
Literally, like, there's no... Like, there's...
paper-thin plot.
Like, the characters don't have an arc. There's no real story. No. It's a movie that exists entirely...
It's bits.
Just to reference all of these things that we love and to just be kind of fun.
Yeah.
And there's really nothing else there.
It is the most...
and that should be a huge...
fan
service.
It's a movie. It's just full of...
Nothing but
2 hours of fan service.
It's nothing but fan service. And that should be a huge ding against it.
But it's done
But it's
so
really
well.
hard to ding it that much for it. Because it's just it's so enjoyable to watch.
It's so enjoyable. And also, and of course, a lot of this goes into the writers and Ryan Reynolds' involvement. It's knowing. It's not like, oh, we're going to give you fan service because we know it's what you want kind of fan service. We're doing fan service because it's what we, as the makers of the film, wanted to do.
And it's a very conscious choice. Like, they knew what they were doing. They knew that, like, okay, you want, like, the character development and the, like, and the deeper plot. That's the second one.
Yeah.
We did that. And then this one is just going to be this.
Yeah.
And they did it knowingly. It's not like they just failed to make the other things. Mm-hmm. No, they did it knowingly. They knew exactly what they were doing.
Yeah.
But it does make it hard to rank.
I think the thing is you have
because
to rank...
it's not doing the same thing.
You have to rank it without comparing it to any of the other movies.
Yeah, because it's not doing the same thing
it needs to
anything
go...
else is doing.
I want to put it in A on a different chart.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because it's not even doing the same thing that any of the rest of them were doing.
And it's like what do I do? Where do I do it? What do I do with this? What do I do? Like it almost, in some ways, as an MCU film, it actually fails.
Yeah.
But
and that's again, you're just making my point. You're making my point that it's so hard to rank it.
But it's so fun.
Yeah.
It's for quality, I'm going to throw it an A.
Okay.
And just for the good time that I had with it, I'm going to throw it an A, and I'm going to throw it right behind Captain America here. I said right behind Captain America here. I guess I have to put it. I have to do this. There we go. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right in the middle of A. Right in the middle of A. Yeah.
I think that's fair. I'll do A as well, and I will do... Let's see here. I will go... Yeah, I'll put it behind Captain America as well, which is a little higher for me.
Oh, a little higher, just in front of Spider-Man there.
Yeah.
What an incredible nonsense film. I
think that's fair because that does a good job of balancing sort of, the fact that it's very enjoyable to watch, but it's also very, like, empty.
Yeah, it is. It's it's like soda pop film. Like, this is empty calories. This is, All right.
Also, now that we're talking about it, I actually want to make a change.
Okay.
I've been thinking about this a lot.
Okay.
I need to drop Black Panther 1 a little bit.
Okay. Here? Yeah.
Yeah. Can you drop it behind Deadpool and Wolverine?
Okay.
And just right there. Yeah. Because I really like it, but it's like...
Well, you really like the sequel a lot.
And it just doesn't quite...
Man, really? Making Captain America move up almost to the top of your A, that's...
Well, it is. I do really think it's one of the best ones.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah. I mean, the three, like I said before, the Cap trilogy, I think is the strongest overall.
Absolutely.
Trilogy of the.
It's three great movies.
Yeah.
There's no bad one.
It's the only one that just really fully hits on all levels.
Spider-Man's
pretty close, but
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Spider-Man for me is always like but it's also only half an MCU film.
Yeah, exactly. You know? Well, and also I think I do rate.
The second one is, or second one, third one.
No, I mean, they all are good, but they just they don't quite break out to that next level. Yeah. Anyways,
talking about this, I'm like, oh man, I want to move Captain. I'm gonna do this. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. Like Iron Man? Yeah, just up there, these two guys together.
I've ended up putting a lot of things ahead of Iron Man 1 that I never thought I would. Yeah. But the thing is that I just feel that Iron Man 1 was great, but it was a foundation to build upon.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I feel like,
I think I mostly am keeping it sort of high because every time I've gone back to it, I'm like, oh, no, holds up.
It is. Yeah. It's great. I mean, it's a really great movie. Anyways.
All right, now comes a TV show that I had absolutely no idea what to think about going into it, and that's Agatha all along. I was like, oh, you mean the villain who I didn't think about a lot in the Wanda is getting around? What is this going to be? Obviously magic related.
Given how much I enjoyed WandaVision... Yeah. I was actually fairly excited for Agatha Along. I thought that it really had potential to be really cool. And I did end up really liking it quite a bit. It was like...
It was quite different.
Yeah. I mean, it has some similar aspects, and I think it pays off really well.
Yes.
I think that when you get to the whole... I think it did a really good job of doing the thing of okay... Not excusing all the terrible things Agatha's done. She's still a horrible person. She's still a villain. But, giving her that more sympathetic kind of backstory of, seeing what she actually went through. And, it definitely brought this greater dimension to the character, which I thought was really strong. Catherine Hahn is a really good actress. And I thought she did a great job of making that character, weirdly likable, even though she's horrible.
You know what?
In a weird way.
Sometimes there's nothing better than a villain you like.
Yeah, but, a lot of times villains you like, it's you like them, you don't necessarily like...
Sometimes you like them because the good guy sucks.
Yeah, or, you like them, but you don't necessarily agree with what they're doing.
Sure.
But, in Agatha's case, no, she's undoubtedly terrible.
Oh, yeah.
She's horrible.
Horrible bad guy.
But, there's still this weird likability there, which is kind of strange.
Actress she's got a lot of charisma.
Yeah, I'm sure that's part of it. Yeah. And I really liked the way that it followed up on a number of threads from WandaVision without sort of necessarily leaning so much on it. And it was still very much its own thing. It didn't try it. It used some of the aspects of like when the show, at the beginning of the show, when she's in the spell, and there's the whole when they do the whole detective thing.
Oh yeah,
where it's and then the whole her coming out of it thing, a little bit of WandaVision-esque aspect there, but then they didn't follow that same exact format, and they had this kind of other format structure that they followed, structured around the tests on the witch's road.
The witches, on her coven.
And then even the twist was pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh yes.
The sort of
I actually kind of forgot that was that twist.
The way that they they developed the character that were initially being known just as Teen. And of course, eventually it is revealed that he is Billy.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It was really cool. I really enjoyed it. I would say probably, let's see here. Where would I put it? I would put it at B, maybe just behind Ant-Man 1 there.
Right there?
Yeah. I think that's a good place. It's halfway into B.
I'm going to put it, I'm also going to put it in B. I think I'm going to put it just... I'm going to put it just in front of She-Hulk, just behind Doctor Strange there. Keep the magic together.
Yeah, that's fair. That's pretty close to where I have it.
Yeah, very similar. For me, this is how I was talking earlier, how I feel like most Marvel shows are either an episode too short or an episode too long. For me, Agatha was both. In the middle, it felt too long, and then I felt it wrapped up too fast at the end. Yeah. I could have gotten rid of the middle episode and given me one more end episode, or made it so it didn't wrap up. So that last episode was so crammed.
It was.
I felt like I was like, oh, if only you spent a little more time here.
It worked for me though, actually.
Again, I forgive it of that because the ending was satisfying.
It was
a very satisfying.
It felt ending, crammed, but like in a way where it was like, wow, they really made use of their time. You know. Yeah. All
right. Brave New World.
Yeah.
Captain America. Technically the fourth Captain America movie, but different Captain America.
Yeah. Again, this was one that kind of got a lot of hate and didn't really do super well for a lot of reasons that I think are mostly fairly obvious.
It and what was it? Captain Marvel, the Marvels. Yeah. Height of Marvel of like comic book fatigue.
Yeah.
This pacing between the movies had gotten weird. Yeah. Delays and changes. People were just like, either get on with it or stop.
Yeah.
And not this middle ground.
And it's tough because, of course, they're also trying to launch, the Sam as Captain America thing.
Yes.
And the weird thing about Sam as Captain America is that, like, he kind of has become Captain America, but he's also still kind of
still a Falcon.
Yeah, even though they also have basically a new Falcon who's like his sidekick now. Yeah. With what's his name, the newer that new sort of who kind of becomes like Falcon basically. Mm-hmm. But like but Sam's
wildly different from the comic.
Yeah, no, I understand that. But like Sam still has the wings. He's still he operates in a very Falcon-like way.
Yeah.
Taking advantage of all his skills and sort of experience that he's had up to this point as Falcon, and then adding the Captain America elements, and it's like that's actually kind of cool. I actually really enjoy that.
Like mixing them.
But I could see for an audience it would be a bit weird because it would be like, wait, like so is he Captain America or is he still Falcon? Yeah. And blah blah blah.
Well, especially since we had the TV show,
and also like it's
his previous appearance was almost the same.
Yeah,
only he was still called.
And just saying like, oh, he's Captain America now. It's easy to say that.
You got to earn
but that is some huge shoes to fill, and that is a big part of the storyline.
Yeah,
that is a big part of his character development. Is his feelings of like,
that's what this movie is.
How is he going to fill those shoes? Because no one could really fill Steve's shoes.
Yeah,
but it's a tough thing because it's like, well, you got to do something, you got to move on, but at the same time, it's so tough for an audience to accept that, like, instead of Steve, we have this, and it's like, oh, that's really tough.
It's also interesting how much of this movie is Falcon, Captain America, learning the lessons that Steve learns in Winter Soldier, like the beginning of Winter Soldier, when he's back, and he's like, I'm not really down with like how S.H.I.E.L.D's operating. Like this seems all sus.
It's also really obvious.
He's doing it with, of course, with the General / President Ross and all that. And he's like, look, like there has to, like this can't go both ways. Like you can't have your cake and eat it too situation.
It's also another one of those ones where you really feel that they have like a lot of issues behind the scenes.
Production.
There was a lot of reshooting and a lot of cutting and reshaping the movie.
Yeah.
And like whole like subplots and concepts were like completely cut out or
you see
totally
there's the vestiges of things that don't
like
quite,
all the like Serpent Society stuff, which was going to be a big part of it.
Yeah.
And even they had like they shot scenes with like Diamondback and everything.
Yeah.
And then all of that was cut and retooled. Like Samuel Stearns, like the leader.
Yeah.
Like
I'm so cool they brought him back.
Yeah, but
a character that we haven't seen in 15 years.
They completely retooled his look.
Yeah.
That like the design that they were originally going to go with, and they changed like a lot of things with the story and stuff. And so like it definitely has that feeling.
It's got rewrite-itis.
Rewrite-itis and kind of cobbled together from like, well, like this is the best we can do with all these little pieces because it was kind of all over the place.
Yeah. It has a little bit of a made by committee kind of feel to it. Yeah.
That being said, I did enjoy it for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
I thought what really hit me with it, because I was watching this, and even in the middle of watching it, and afterwards even more so when thinking back on it, but even in the middle of watching it, something that really occurred to me was like, you know what this is? And I think this is actually part of the problem why people had a bit of more negative response, is it feels very throwbacky to like the early films.
Yeah.
And the thing is that like
this is like a late phase 1, early phase 2
people have
movie.
very rose-colored glasses about. They look back on the beginning, on the early stuff, because it was so exciting, because it was all brand new and happening. And they sort of think back like, oh yeah, those early ones were so great. And they were. I mean, they were good, but like they were so like simple and kind of scaled down because they had to start kind of simple and scaled down and then slowly ramp up. Right? And I feel like by going back to that style here, it was weird because people had become accustomed to everything is huge.
Yeah.
And going back to that simpler, more scaled down thing, I feel like actually kind of threw people off because they were like, why is this happening now?
Yeah.
But like, if this movie had come out in the really early days, it would have been considered fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, because there wouldn't be the baggage, first of all, that people have now. And also that like more simple scale back thing that's how those early ones were done. I also thought it had like give after everything they've done to basically bury Hulk as a character.
Yeah.
It had some of the most awesome Hulk action
really great
that we've
Hulk
had
stuff.
in years.
Yeah.
And even though it's not Hulk, it's Red Hulk, it's Ross Hulk, but like just getting a rampaging Hulk and then Sam having to deal with it with him being, you know,
a man with no superpowers. I'm gonna throw this one at the bottom of B, right next to Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. It wasn't the strongest. Again, like
I
said,
agree.
It's got a bit of a chopped up feel to it, but I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. Let's see here. I'm gonna go B. I'm gonna go
right here.
It's tempting. You know what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and we go.
Yeah, that works. That works. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. It wasn't that bad. It definitely just felt like they you know, those behind the scenes issues were way too obvious. And you know, if you have those kind of issues, that's fine, but you got to make it not obvious. And they were way too obvious. You know, and I just it just fell a little flat in places. But I still had a good time. So, yeah.
All right. Now Daredevil returns to the MCU.
Yeah, which is another kind of weird one. Sort of like with Deadpool and Wolverine, where it's kind of like we're getting something that's really from a previous.
Yeah.
You know.
And because all the history of the previous stuff applies here.
Yeah.
Which is
Although it also works as like a follow up to the thread that they kind of.
Well, Echo.
Through Hawkeye into Echo into this. With sort of Fisk's recent activities. Because they definitely reference that a lot more in many ways than they do the Netflix stuff, right? Because they referenced Fisk being injured, being away, coming back, going through that whole, you know, and of course Echo even sets up the whole him running for mayor thing, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's, again, there was a lot of, obviously, even crazier production issues behind the scenes with this one.
Insane.
Where, like, halfway through, they completely retooled the whole series. Brought in completely different showrunners. Shot new episodes, shot new footage. Cobbled together stuff from the already done footage.
I mean, I really liked it.
Yeah.
But all of that shows.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
And I'm going to say, it shows. I'm not going to say it necessarily is.
It doesn't feel like two different shows. It feels like it's trying to be three or four different shows.
And in some ways, it feels kind of like old school television, where like the vibe of the show can be different from episode to episode.
Yeah. Even though it does have like a pretty strong like ongoing.
I think the ongoing story arc is good. I mean, obviously all the actors are good. Charlie Cox is amazing. D'Onofrio, of course. The two of them,
incredible. I'm really glad they had that scene so early in the series.
The meeting at the diner.
Them getting
had to. That was a must.
Having that hash out. Like I'm so glad they did that and didn't like make us wait for them to like get together.
I think it had a killer opening episode with the whole bullseye and everything. Like, just like, we're just going to drop you right in the middle of something extremely crazy and serious.
I mean, I think it caused a lot of issues in some ways, too, because for a lot of people, it was kind of like, what the hell's going on? How did we get here? What's this, It just felt like maybe a little too much.
Sure.
But, it was something where you can really tell people who struggled with the way this series started and the way the series went. You could really tell, like, when was the last time you rewatched
exactly.
Netflix, especially season 3? Sure. Because, like, I, for instance, watched season 3 because, like, I never really properly watched season 3 back in the day. Like, I saw it, but, like, I saw it in quotes.
It was on.
And so, like, I actually rewatched or, watched, if you want to put it that way, properly for the first time, season 3, like, right before Born Again started. And that was a huge boon, too, because getting that transition from...
You were in the headspace of...
it made it so much easier to just, with Bullseye and all that stuff, and with where they were at, with Foggy and all that stuff, like, it made it so much easier to just be like, like, that's the logical, like, especially because it's like, but it's still been like 7 years or whatever, right? Like, it's been so long, and I love that time passed, but it might only be like 5 years. I think it's 7 years between actual airings, but
5 years.
I think it's supposed to be like 5 years in world.
I thought the way they broke the show up into basically kind of two parts, and split it with the Kamala Dad episode,
which is crazy because that episode
it feels like it's from another show, almost.
And it is because that episode is 100% from the original thing. There was no changes made, right? But so that episode has nothing to do with the main plot line.
Fits.
It's a palate cleanser.
It's a palate cleanser. Because at that point, like, because this show basically does the like, we've got like, there's kind of like a 2-villain scenario going on. And, there's like a 3-villain scenario going on because we got Fisk over the whole thing. And then we got whatever the guy with the mask was called there, the artist guy.
Muse,
and then,
I think?
Muse. And then of course, Bullseye. And so we're going to, we got this old episode, which we're not going to touch. We're not going to edit it all. It's, what do they call it? Like a pocket episode or,
Well, it's a totally silent episode.
And
I really enjoyed it.
And it was so good. I mean, obviously just...
It's funny because...
great interaction between those characters. And Matt gets to do all the Daredevil stuff in the stealthiest way possible. Like, he has to make it look like nobody was here, except he does all the cool stuff.
Yeah, it's funny because when I saw that episode, I was like, okay, I'm glad they did the retooling because, like, there was a lot of issues involved with what they were doing. But I was like, had the original version of the series been just, like, episodic, like, standalone Daredevil stories like this, like that episode. If that's what it had been, I would have actually been cool with that. Because I really enjoyed that episode.
I may have been a little bit bummed that they had, like, that means they weren't, like, retouching on, like, the stuff they had set up.
Right. But that would have been better than doing a really botched, terrible storyline.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. So I'm glad they did the retooling, but at the same... Well, especially because, like, I know, for example, like, John Berthel, like... the original version of the story and of the series, he was basically like, I don't think that really works. I don't really want to have anything more to do with it. Yeah.
And I can't imagine what they did.
And so, them retooling it even just for that to get the Frank stuff back properly.
Yeah.
Because we don't get a ton of Frank here, but we get one of the best scenes that they've ever done in any of this run of episodes when Matt goes to Frank's hideout there and they have that whole they like hash out.
Well, both the scene and then, where she goes to see him, and the scene. I think both those scenes are.
But the Matt one happens first.
Yes,
and them having that thing because at that point we're just like like I think Frank shows up at some point, but like what under what, and it kind of comes as a surprise that that's where it is.
Yeah,
and then they don't really do anything with them until near the end, and then they have the full team up kind of Marvel team up, and and it's amazing, and it kind of sets things up for next season, but also for the
Frank standalone
for the Punisher. I almost said Transformers for the Punisher special presentation that's coming. Yeah. So I mean that stuff was all great, but like the Muse stuff felt very kind of like eh. Like, it felt very much.
It was something for the characters to do while they were setting the show up.
It felt very much a vestige of like, oh, this was a totally different show.
Yeah.
And now like they're kind of stuck with this story.
Yeah.
It was the old Back to the Future sequel. Like if we knew we were making sequels, we never would put the girlfriend in the car. It's that thing of like getting shoehorned into like, well, we have all this footage, we have to use it.
Yeah.
How are we going to use it? Well, we'll just shoehorn it in.
Yeah.
And it just didn't really.
I'm gonna throw it in B behind Echo here.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
But the all the cobbled, not necessarily cobbled, but the reworking, I think,
the best thing about it
hit it hard.
The best thing about it is just the fact that it's fully bringing back the Daredevil stuff with the same, basic cast. It gives me a lot of hope for season 2, being that it will be from the start, crafted by the same, we won't have any of that retooling problem, because everything will be done. For season, season 2 is completely its own thing, without having to be beholden to any of the previous stuff. For season 1,
I'm also docking,
and then the fact that we just found out that season 3 is confirmed, is huge.
Yeah.
So, and we're getting the Punisher special version.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, I feel like the future looks very bright with it, but
it's a bit of a rough start.
Season 1 was kind of like, well, it just kind of gets us back on the board.
Yeah.
But it doesn't quite.
Well, because it's both a season 1 and a way late season 3.
So 4, I would say, okay, so you put B below,
just below,
right
Echo.
Below Echo.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there. That's fine. Okay. That works for me.
Okay. I'm also dinging it just ever so slightly. Come on now. No Jennifer Walters cameo? Come on!
Yeah.
Come on! They had so many ample opportunities.
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
I mean, even without...
Like at the beginning bit, when they, when they're talking about him and all the ladies and the girl.
I mean, even if they didn't want to do like...
They don't have She-Hulk in it.
Right.
Just Jennifer Walters. She's a lawyer.
Because that would have fit the tone, to just be like...
Yeah.
Plus she would have... Then she would have been allowed to swear.
Yeah.
Which, by the way... That is the most exciting thing about Jessica Jones coming back for season 2. Is that she can properly swear, unlike on the Netflix shows.
Yeah.
So that's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
So that's fine. That's fine. It's a great start. It's great to see those characters again. But it's really feels more like a means, like a jumping point to get to the next thing. I feel like it'll probably only go up from here.
I guess in the Marvel MCU terms, we could call that it's got the Age of Ultron. Yeah. This is just a leeway movie between two other things.
Yeah.
It's not.
I mean, I definitely liked it more than that.
Yeah.
All right, next up,
Thunderbolts.
Asterix. Yeah. New Avengers.
New Avengers.
Yeah. We'll just just call it New Avengers.
Just basically
Avengers with a Z.
With a Z. Yeah, exactly. Uncopyrightable Avengers with a Z.
Okay. Well, I love Thunderbolts.
Me too.
I think it's one of the best Marvel movies in years. It's S for me.
Yeah, I'm putting it right up here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right up in front of.
I would put
after Spider-Man, right before Hawkeye.
Actually, and I've actually watched it a couple of times with like reactors and stuff like that, and it just gets better and better. Yeah. Like honestly, dude.
Yeah.
This is crazy. I have actually put a lot of thought into this. This isn't just completely spur of the moment.
Is it? No.
No. Leave it at 2. But you can put it at 2. Put it right below Winter Soldier.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
I love it.
It's so good.
First of all, it really appeals to me with the addressing of like mental health stuff.
Yeah.
And where the characters are at.
Yeah.
It's the best written and executed that those specific
Although in typical superhero fashion, mental health can be solved by punching it. But
well, yes and no.
Hey, it's the only toolbox the tool they've got.
Yes and no.
Yeah,
I mean, it deals with it in a lot of other ways than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved how characters that had been it took a bunch of characters that had already been introduced.
Took all the most damaged characters in the MCU.
And there was a lot of characters that had already been introduced and had been like fairly minor in many ways, right? Like, I wasn't clamoring for like, more Ghost, you know?
Yeah, sure.
Like, I like, fine character, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I wasn't like, you know what we really need is more Ghost, or even like Walker. I was like, yeah, I mean,
here's the thing. I like when Walker shows up because you love it because he instantly becomes a punching bag for everyone else.
And the thing is that like, I think with Walker, like, first of all, they capture the character really well.
Yeah.
But also
that actor's real good playing a dick.
But yeah, also like I think they really elevate it with Wyatt Russell because he just brings a lot to it, and it's great. I love Bucky, so getting more Bucky was great.
Of course. As soon as Bucky shows up,
like his like trying to move on from the whole like Winter Soldier / Bucky / the sort of like pseudo superhero kind of world. And then move on to like the more legitimate, like he's a politician now. He's trying to help and like more like, but like he's terrible at it. And he kind of just like kind of just ends up going back to his old ways. In spite of himself, because he's like that's what he's actually good at. You know, and he's not terrible at it because he's like incompetent. It's just not his thing, and he's very uncomfortable with the whole like. That other kind of world, you know, it's just not his world. And, you know, that was great. Yelena, of course, you know how much I love that character, and
she's awesome.
They develop her even further, and Florence Spears.
Mixing that, of course,
an incredible.
Alexei.
Which again, like, every character that they bring back for this is like the best
they've ever
been as characters in terms of their writing and their characterization and how they're depicted. We get like the most Val, of course, that we've gotten up to this point, and she's amazing. Like another one of those just like you love to hate her type of characters.
Absolutely.
And as somebody who
I was like, I hate this villain. More please.
And as somebody who like kind of missed like the whole Sentry thing is kind of after my era of like reading comics. But also I've like always had major issues with the idea of the Sentry. And how they've kind of used it.
That was the thing for me.
I really don't think it works.
As a fan of early Sentry comic stuff, which I realize isn't that actual old, but you know.
But and then I mean, at this point,
it's getting up there. And then being having a relationship where like Marvel sometimes uses the character amazingly, and sometimes just uses it because like people like the Sentry will stick him in this, and you're like. No, that's what you do with Wolverine. Like, no, not the Sentry. You can't just shove him in anywhere. It doesn't work that way. And they've misused him a ton. It's really like, ugh. And so I was like, okay, you got one shot at this to do it. And they approached it with a slightly different angle. And they picked a hell of an actor to do it. Because, holy cow, does this guy both, like, when he's Bob, he's like,
it's incredible.
Yep. And then... When he's Sentry, it's like, oh, I'm scared.
I'm
scared. We're all scared.
No, it's amazing. It's amazing. And so that's what I was going to say.
It's a real like.
It's basically like the fact that I was like, oh my god, how is this going to work with them?
Remember when Thanos was just going to snap everybody? And we thought that was terrible. How about when the Sentry does that?
Yeah.
Like so much more.
I mean, at least you can bring
you can bring it back
out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like yeah. Anyways, it's so good. Yeah. I enjoy
so much good action.
I enjoy it basically from start to finish.
Yeah. I watched it twice, very close together, without even hesitating.
All the humor works really well because it's all very character based.
So well written.
You know, there's no like just cheap jokes. Like it's all very character based. Mm-hmm. It's all the humor works because of how these characters interact.
Yeah.
And
it sounds normal coming from them. It doesn't sound forced.
Yeah, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah, my by far my favorite experience with a Marvel project in many years, and as it reflects in the ranking. Yeah. But and
top tier. S for Sentry.
My second favorite of all time.
S for New Avengers. So
yeah.
All right. Final Phase 5.
Yep.
Ironheart.
Yep.
So very recent.
Yep.
In fact, I only finished watching it
a
week and a bit ago.
You're a little behind.
I was a little behind on it.
I just watched it.
Well, I watched a bunch of it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, and then I kind of forgot about it. And I was like, oh crap, I gotta finish this.
I watched it sort of as it came out because it was just, I just made it part of like the weekly, like,
that's how I started.
Watch,
and then,
watch a certain number of shows, and that's just one of the ones that we were watching weekly. And blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was all right.
There was a lot of stuff I really liked.
Yeah.
And then a lot of stuff I was kind of like, not disappointed. I was just like,
there wasn't anything I actively hated or really disliked.
No.
It just wasn't amazing. And
the problem was, all the characters that I liked were not the main characters. Yeah. Like I liked Riri enough.
Joe enough. Was great.
Joe. I mean, he has quite the arc in the show.
Yeah.
He definitely ends, I like him a lot more at the beginning than the end. I realize, for various reasons.
Yeah.
But
it also does...
her mom, great character.
Mom's great, yeah.
But, her and her friend and that relationship thing there, and then with the AI, I was like,
I sort of liked it. I thought it was an interesting...
It's good, but I wasn't...
I thought it was an interesting idea, the idea of,
oh, it's like a friend from your memories rather than
and just the issue of the fact that bringing back
well her brother completely rejecting that
understandably so
what have you done, you Frankenstein this,
it's horrible, right? And I mean, she didn't do it on purpose, but the idea that that can of worms of if you bring back a virtual version of of a dead person, it's there's a huge can of worms there of
I liked the Hood. I cared nothing for the rest of the gang. I was like, this you have a humongous pool of street level C-lister Marvel characters you could pull from, and instead you just make up a bunch of characters who are nothing. They have each honestly, one of them it kind of felt like half a trope.
It kind of felt like why does he even have a team with him? And it just seemed like
the thing with him and his friend there, the sort of almost brother kind of thing. I thought that was great.
Yeah, it seemed like the main reason
everything else just made it was weak.
It seemed like the main reason he had that whole team thing was to kind of flesh out the cast.
Sure,
but it seemed to be basically only existing for so it gives him other characters to interact with, and it basically serves to really drive home the point of just how in his current form of as the Hood, where he just the whole sort of just he just uses people for what they can do for him, but doesn't actually care about any of them. And it seemed like that was kind of the whole point. It's well, they could have done that in different ways, and they could have had it be there was just no real reason for the team to be specifically those characters.
Yeah.
It just seemed really just random. Yeah.
They're random flunkies. Who got so much screen time.
Yeah.
I like the magic stuff when they go to the magic store.
Yeah, I mean, that was fun. Some Strange Academy kind of
exactly.
And stuff. And
I feel the I really like what they did with Mephisto.
Yeah.
I had my doubts about Sacha Baron Cohen. I was like, I mean, obviously because like of the kind of characters he's played before, like how, but I was like, oh, he's an accomplished actor.
Yeah.
Like he can act. Yes, he plays a certain like we
I
all
think
know.
It's also important to
stuff.
remember too that like it's another one of those things where this is laying the foundation, but it doesn't mean that this is what it's going to be forever. You know?
I just wish they had introduced him and the element of his influence and stuff way earlier in the show.
Yeah, I mean it's implied, so late, but it's so vague that
it's because the way they wrap the show up. Yeah. With her
and the misdirect of like, oh, like maybe it's Dormammu, and then and then he's just like Dormammu, like
that clown, you know, and I feel like the way they ended the show, I felt is a little. I'm curious to see where they go with it, but I felt that was like. I don't feel like her character would have made that decision.
Well, it's also very it's really annoying because it makes it feel like that's a decision that a character makes at the beginning of an arc.
And well, that's the thing. And I feel it should have.
And then their arc is growing beyond that. And
for her to make that decision, I feel Mephisto should have been working on her for a bunch of episodes. Yeah. Just weaseling his way in. Way too it's all in one episode. Yeah. And it's like. I realized you were kind of saving the best for last, but.
But like I enjoyed. There's moments here and there that I enjoyed. I liked the idea behind it. It was certainly nice that like because I complained about how Riri was the only thing for me that didn't really work in Wakanda Forever because it just felt like too much of its own thing that didn't belong. Yeah. So the fact that she's getting her own thing and getting a chance to
I'm glad they did it this way.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like this is kind of what it should have been in the first place. Yeah. Like instead of having the whole
wild to think that this was a movie at one point. That would have been a different thing.
I don't think it was ever going to be a movie in this.
Oh no! Like it would have been so different. Yeah. You know?
But yeah, I'm gonna go. Oh, sorry.
I'm gonna throw it in C. Yeah. Under.
Multiverse of Madness.
Multiverse of Madness. Yeah. I enjoyed it, but I really wish it could have just been stronger.
Yeah. I will. I mean, I have a lot less C. Yeah. But I'll do the same.
Yeah, right below. Yeah. Bottom of C.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, that makes it look real bad because it almost makes it look it's on the verge of like, I don't like it.
I mean, hilariously enough, that puts it, sandwiches it for both of us between the same movies. It's just you deed that way.
Yeah.
So that's the end of Phase 5.
Yep.
We do have one more movie.
Yeah, technically Phase 6 has begun.
Phase 6 has begun.
Fantastic Four First Steps.
We have
part of Phase 6.
We have Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
First Steps.
Yeah.
I figured we'd finish this off.
Well, because we did talk about that, right? And about where what are we going to do? And the thing is the problem with not doing Fantastic Four now is it just feels weird to
It'll be so long before we touch it.
Yeah, and it feels weird to not address something that is literally the most recent release.
Yes, exactly.
You know?
So Phase 5 done. Phase 6. I mean, it's such a strange because, like, looking at where some of the previous phases have ended, either with a big, like, this is important, or this is the finale, and how Phase 5 ends with some movies that feel, or like a TV, or two-phase, like, they feel neither important nor finales, and I'm like, but I realize, but also I realize Phase 5 is like, they had to do a lot of direction changes. Yeah. It's the most tumultuous.
Well, I mean, I would say also the real end to Phase 5 would be Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts, for sure.
Because that's the one that most directly... Yeah. Because, I mean, they literally have... It ends with... its post-credit scene is literally a doomsday scene. Yeah. Right?
Well, it's sort of in the same way that we got a Spider-Man at the end of Phase... whatever there, after,
So, for me...
So Fantastic Four.
So unfortunately, I have to be completely honest.
Didn't hit for you?
I was a little disappointed, and honestly, like the more that I've thought, I haven't had a chance to really rewatch it, or even like see it with reactors or anything like that. So that may change.
No analysis on it.
Yeah. So I mean, we're waiting for it to become, available.
Yeah, because it's not even on streaming yet, is it?
It's only available for like.
Oh, like
pay to rent type thing, or pay to buy a digital copy. Yeah. But I just felt again, it really suffered for me from obvious, like, production issues of, like, them cutting a lot of stuff and kind of stitching together a story when there was intended to be, like, a lot of other stuff. It's very short.
Yeah.
And it's like they were trying to be like, oh, like, we want to be real to, like a real sleek, like, you know, to the point. Mm-hmm. We don't want this to be like
we don't want bloat. We don't want
it to be a sprawling. And it's like, yeah, I get that, but I mean, of all of the things, I feel like this is one where that actually would have been justified.
For sure. Because
it's Fantastic Four.
We've been waiting 15 years for this.
We've been a new flagship, you know, title. It was the flagship title of the Marvel Universe originally. Yeah. And to have to reintroduce the characters, which, yes, we have seen two other versions of this. Yeah. You know, at least two if you don't count the the other one. But, like, you know, so yes, I get that. There's that whole thing of, like, you know, like with the Tom Holland Spider-Man where they're like, oh, we don't need to do the origin again because like we've already done two other major Spider-Man franchises.
Yeah, we know how he gets his powers.
And that's fine. Yeah. But, like, with this, it was like, but they were also setting up, like, an entirely new world that is its own thing with this whole kind of retro-futuristic world that they've obviously been active in for some years already. Yeah. We
get the whole history at the beginning of the movie there.
Yeah. They have cartoons about them.
Comic books.
You know, merchandising. And it just felt like all that was so glossed over so quickly. And it was just kind of like, this is their world. And then we just jump right into the story, like the actual, like, plot. And they were just hitting us with so much, like it's the first movie, and we're getting, like, not only is it like they're the Fantastic Four and they live in this, like, totally unique retro futuristic world, but then also we're getting Galactus already. We're getting Franklin already. Yeah. We're getting, you know, they reference, like, a whole bunch of other villains.
Mm-hmm. And, well, their history. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like it was so much, but, like, it was so rushed because they were like, no, we got to keep this, like, a short, like, sleek, like, movie. And I just feel like that really didn't work for me. The characters were fine, but I didn't feel that they were the huge step up from previous iterations that they really should have been or needed to be. It felt like Pedro Pascal as Reed, he kind of felt like he was phoning it in a little bit. Like, he was fine, but, like, yeah, you would expect that. He's a good actor, you know, but it's just, like, there was no real, like, spark. And the others were fine, but again, like, they're good, but they just didn't really, like, there wasn't a lot of oomph. I think of all of them, Sue is doing a lot of heavy lifting here in more ways than one. I think as a character, she was the only one that really stood out to me as, like, being particularly extraordinary, but also, like, the literal heavy lifting because she is kind of the most powerful member in many ways. And they really leaned into that. I did but I mean, it looked cool. Like, I liked the world. It just, they just glossed over it so quickly. I didn't feel very immersed. You know, but I really liked the world. I liked the look of it.
Yeah.
Obviously, Style it was very cool crazy. To see Galactus looking, you know,
proper
like Galactus. But he also kind of got weirdly nerfed, where, like, in the end, he just kind of ended up as, like, a third-rate kaiju, kind of. It was really weird. Like,
he was hungry.
He barely did. And that was obviously what the implication was. Yeah. But they don't even really ever say that. It was more about, like, oh, woe is me, like, I'm tired of this, and getting access to this child will take away my problems with, you know, my hunger. And it was such a weird idea for the plot, and he just felt like a setup of, like, oh, he's this really impressive thing. And he doesn't really do anything. He just kind of walks through the city and, like, breaks a few things, but, like, he's basically like a god. Like, it's that was disappointing. But yeah, he looked great. The actor, like, the voice was good and everything. Yeah. The way he talked was great. For me, the highlight by far, and it was not even close, was the surfer.
Yeah.
And it's bizarre because, of course, it's not even the original.
No, it's not Norman Rad. It's
character.
Yeah.
Right. They went with the whole like Shala Ball or whatever becoming the surfer, right? Which there is an alternate version in the comics where she became the surfer. It's not something that they just completely made up. There is a comic where that happens, but just the way it was done was so cool. Like the actual, like how it's like actual like surfing and everything is so smooth and all of her movements and everything were so like, it was like, incredible.
Great concept and execution on the effect.
Yeah, it was by far the highlight for me, and it was sort of what kind of saved the movie for me, because everything else I was kind of like, yeah, it's fine, but like that's not what we need. Like we needed this to be amazing, and I just didn't think it was amazing.
Where are you putting it?
Well, you talk first.
Okay. So this movie was basically almost perfect for me.
Okay.
From how they introed it, with giving their history, and you basically got a who's who of the best of what the Fantastic Four had to deal with. Basically bringing you up to speed. And then adding, I thought each of the actors, despite, because I was like, the short runtime is something that mars. Like, I loved every part of this movie, but every part of it is also slightly marred by that. That runtime. We don't get to spend just quite enough time with the things that needed to be spent with. But I think they very quickly got the personalities of every character more or less bang on. I thought what's his name was as Reed, slightly different than comic Reed, but Pedro Pascal, I thought he did a great job.
Well, at least it's better than.
Oh well, yeah.
Multiverse of Madness. Really.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
Totally. Sue, the leader, the mom, the everything. The foundation for that team. Ben was great. What's his name? Such a good job. He looks fantastic. And again, I think a lot of it is just the short time. The emphasis to be like you say, a little too streamlined.
He did have that minor sort of subplot of like the neighborhood.
The neighborhood stuff, which is very thick.
Interacting with
that's super.
What's her name's character?
Yeah.
And that
the
was
teacher
cool.
there,
that was cool.
Touching a little bit on the his Jewish community and everything.
That was cool, but they definitely gave him the least to do and the least of a storyline than any of them. Because Johnny got quite a lot. Because Johnny,
every interaction Johnny has is so Johnny.
Yeah,
all the stuff with him and the surfer. Yeah, it's all just yep.
But because of all the surfer stuff, and then his whole figuring out the language thing, which made zero sense, because that's not how languages work. You can't just decipher language from having 3 words and then extrapolating what the rest of the language is from that. That makes no sense.
Yeah. That's comic book sense, not real world.
But because of that, he kind of almost had two storylines, but kind of entwined, and it just seemed to give him a lot of screen time. That Ben really didn't get, I felt. Yeah. But, Ben's other big thing was he's the cook, apparently.
Yeah.
Which is cool, but
again, I think
that really a major...
Yeah. We got Herbie, which was... And done well.
Yeah. Well, I love the whole, how he was all part of that, retro future type thing.
Exactly. So I like how you swap the tape out. You swap the tape out depending on what you want him to do.
Yeah, that was very cool.
Visually, it looked great. One of the things before seeing the movie, because you saw before it, and I was before me, and I was huge integral part of early, because also relationship with Sue and stuff.
Yeah.
Early. You're going to introduce Mole Man. We got to have Mole Man. And you manage it. You said nothing. You kept it. And they bring him in.
Yeah,
they bring him in. Good. He helps the team.
Yeah,
I was like, this
and
is
he had a lot more stuff that was part of the cut.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. This is almost like, I wonder if they'll ever release an extended,
I'm sure they'll probably release, like,
maybe some
bonus
scenes and footage.
I don't think they'll ever make, like, an extended cut, because they don't really usually
That's
do
not,
that.
that's not, yeah.
But,
I thought Galactus, like, finally he was done right, looked great.
Yeah. He looked right. I just didn't really like him being...
Yeah, and again, I think maybe some of that was a little
too much.
Cut.
Yeah.
Again, for time.
Yeah.
It's one of the few times I think a Marvel movie could have maybe really benefited by being maybe 20 minutes longer.
Yeah.
Not usually the case. Not usually, I would say, almost any other Marvel movie.
Yeah.
But I'm just, the whole vibe and everything.
Yeah.
No, it was so perfect, like Fantastic Four for me.
Yeah.
Again, as someone who's been waiting for Fantastic Four to be done right and been disappointed over and over and over again.
I mean, it's definitely the best version that they've done.
Yeah.
But that ain't hard.
Yeah. I was so happy. And again, some of this may be recency bias.
Okay.
Because it is the most recent one.
Well, it's the most recent one for me, too. And, it didn't... recency bias didn't...
Well, recency bias can hit different ways.
Yeah.
For me, I'm putting this up at the bottom of S.
Okay.
I loved it.
That's great.
I also think it is what a foundation for them to move forward. Like, I think it's like all the pieces are here. Whatever they do next, I think there's no like weird shakiness.
Yeah.
Even with the teaser, we get a little Doom right at the end there, like ooh, and that kind of thing. Okay, how about you? Where you putting this?
Well, I've been thinking about it while you were talking.
Oh, I figured I'd give you some time.
I think I'm probably gonna be B for me, but
I don't know if you got room in B here.
Probably
it's gonna bump B to a third.
Yeah. Third level.
It's A or C. Sorry,
well, no, it's definitely not C. I think probably like the top of B.
Really? In front of Shang-Chi?
Yeah.
Even with all the things you said about it? Wow. Okay.
Because it still had, like I said, it was still definitely the best version of Fantastic Four they've done. And I mean, I liked, well, and also like the how well the Surfer was done was a huge, like I said, like that for me was the highlight. And also just seeing like, even though I was disappointed necessarily with how they...
Thank God he's not a cloud.
...used Galactus, just seeing him looking like Galactus was a huge plus.
Yeah.
And that whole sequence when they go on the ship, and they go and they meet him, and that whole... And then the escape from the Surfer, and the whole, like, with the black hole.
Yeah.
And then, like, it's being like, oh, well, that'll delay her. But
Like, it's not gonna...
She can travel in interstellar...
Just, like, speeds,
like, with just herself. So that's not going to stop her, but it will just slow her down enough so that they can get away. Like, all that was really cool. That was really exciting, that sequence.
Yeah. Just being in the Galactus ship was like, wow, I didn't think I'd ever see this,
that was really cool. Well, I think we'll be seeing it more in the future.
Yeah. Would not be surprised,
And, because I'm hoping that that aspect, the aspect of that ties in with Secret Wars is going to be something that they use.
Yes.
I'm really hoping it will be. Anyways. Yeah.
So there we go. In the end.
Any last minute changes that you feel like you need to do?
No, you know what? I think I'm as happy as I'm gonna be without,
because you could, of course, like,
just nitpicking.
It's
I think it's one of those things. It's the toughest thing is like the inter-tier relationships.
Yeah.
Putting stuff in a tier, easy.
Yeah.
Deciding where it goes in the tier is very like, well, that's a for now case,
So, from what I can tell, you went a little more A heavy.
Yeah.
And more C heavy than me, which is interesting. We both have only 3 Ds, although they're not all the same. And we both have the same F.
The big F there.
But yeah, you definitely went more C heavy.
We both had the same number of S's, 7 S's.
Way more B heavy.
Yeah.
Which actually, honestly, makes a lot of sense to me, because that's like basically the middle.
Yeah.
And, that sort of fits how we feel about most of these. You know,
I mean, if you look at most of in our A's and B's, we have in those two tiers most of the same things, just in different places.
Yeah.
It's mostly where I dragged some of the B stuff into C.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and then our S is like a good mix. Like we have some of the same.
Yeah.
Some different.
I mean, the thing is, when they hit and it hits best.
Yeah.
It's obvious.
Yeah.
And I mean, Captain America.
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Top tier film.
Yeah,
you know?
well, it's just so perfect. Yeah, to be honest.
It really is.
Like I can't.
Yeah. Well, like I said,
every time
we tiered it. That night I watched it and I was like, nope, I feel 100% confident.
Every time I see it, I keep expecting like, oh, this is when the other shoe's gonna drop, and I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, okay, it's good, but it's not really. Nah, it's just perfect every time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So there we go. We did it. 51 films and TV shows.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
Ranked. I'm exhausted.
Yep.
And we didn't even do this all in one go. This is like 3 days of, obviously not back to back, but 3 different sessions, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So that wraps up that. We'll be resuming regular movie viewing service next episode. We're going into October. It's spooky season. Time for all sorts of spooky and horror films. Excited about that.
Spooky and horror?
Spooky and horror. We've got a slate of stuff that we're gonna do from all over the place. I'm really excited about doing these movies. So we'll be back with that.
Cool.
Yeah. Until then, I'm Chris.
Seven.
Cheers.
Bye bye.